Hey guys, welcome back to your lesson in line part 2. Now you had your graphic organizer from last week and you're going to use that to help you remember different types of patterns that you can use to create our awesome line and pattern landscape. So we're just going to start with creating the landscape, and if you can see in the original picture, I kind of have some they're almost straight, but they're a little bit wavy lines in the front. Those are going to represent water almost. Our landscape is going to show us maybe some hills, water, and then the sky. So now I'm just going to start about halfway up the paper and just bring my lines down and just make some kind of wavy shapes there. Those are the mountains. All right, and they're just going to go all the way off the paper. Now I'm going to create a big, almost like a rainbow. That's going to be my sun. And then you're just going to add some clouds to the sky. Does yours have to look like this? No, it does not. Your landscape can look however you want. Maybe you have some trees in there, or a different type of shape to your mountains. That's okay. But the most important thing is that we want to have big shapes that fill up the paper. That way, when we're adding our patterns in, we have big spaces to put them in, and that way our project won't take too long where we get tired when we're doing it. Okay, so I'm gonna do my waves in different colors of blue. If you don't have markers or crayons at home, you do not have to use colors. All right, if you do, that's great, go ahead and use them. So I'm just mixing up different types of blues. I'm using different lines. I pulled out my little graphic organizer to remind me of the different shapes. Now, if you notice, it looks like Mrs. Bush is drawing super fast in this video. She is not actually drawing that fast. I just put it on speed just because I know that it can take a while just to watch me color. And I don't think that you really need to sit there and watch while I'm doing all of my coloring. I just wanted you to see this so you can get some ideas for patterns when you're creating your shapes, okay? As you can see, I'm doing kind of different broken lines, wavy lines, broken lines, wavy lines. Sometimes I'm mixing my colors together. Now that I'm doing the hills, I'm going to do the hills green. So I'm going to mix different types of green. Sometimes I'm using diagonal lines and I'm leaving spaces in between. That way I can go back with another color and choose to do lines in a different direction. And that creates a pattern. I think in my last set of hills, I'm going to do green and brown together. So I'm going to do green and brown, and then I'm going to choose some different patterns to use here. So I'm just going to do these curved lines, and I'm leaving a space. And then I'm going to grab another color, green, and I'm going to do curved lines, but in a different direction. So it creates a fun illusion when you're looking at the hill. These are our hills or mountains. I'm going to do some loop-de-loops because I love those. And then I think I'm going to add in some zigzags and as many as I can get in there. Wow, I'm really drawing fast, huh? Okay, now my sun. So my sun, I think I'm going to do yellow and orange. I'm going to do alternating patterns. Alternating means I'm going to be changing them back and forth. So I'm going to do some lines that are going from the center of my sun all the way out to the edge. Then I'm going to do some broken lines. If I run out of ideas, that's why I have that graphic organizer from last week. I can look at that and can I repeat the same patterns in different parts of my shapes? Absolutely. I used dash lines in a couple different blocks. I used vertical and horizontal lines in a couple different blocks, a couple different shapes. So, okay, now I'm going to do my sky. I'm doing a couple different blues. And what I did, if you have markers at home, you can do this. Depending on which way you hold your marker, you can make a thick line or you can make a thin line. So if I turn it on the side, I can get a thick line. And when I hold it straight up and down, I can get more of a thin line. So I'm doing that just to get, try to get as many different types of line in as I can. I'm going to pull some different colors and make some dots because we know that we can make dotted lines. And castle lines, I don't want to forget about those. I love to add those in just because they're so fun and unique and they're kind of fun to make. And then when I do my clouds, I'm going to do kind of like a pink, just because I feel like I cannot create a landscape without having pink in it somewhere. Just love the color pink, so my clouds are going to be pink. Now look, does yours have to have all of these specific colors? Absolutely not. You can do this landscape art and it looks really cool if you just do it in black and white. If you just have white paper and a black marker or a pencil or a pen, it still looks really cool. The coolest part about this art is just looking at all the different lines and the way that they move and the way that our eye travels when we're looking at it. So there you go. There's your landscape art using different types of line. If you do not want to use this landscape design, remember, feel free to use your own and, you know, do some different shapes. If you don't want to do a sun, maybe if you wanted to do some buildings, use your imagination. I just want to see you trying different types of lines. This is just to help guide you as an idea of something that if you want to follow along with. If you want to explore your imagination and show me what you create, I love that and I cannot wait to see it. Okay, have fun.